Greetings and welcome to Match Play with Ray Adams. Thank you for joining me today. And I'm in a beautiful fall day in Arizona with my very special guest. You know who he is, Hank Haney. Hank, welcome to Match Play TV.
I'm glad to be here, Ray. Thanks.
Yes, wow, what a beautiful setting too. We've got some practice facility here. Hank is going to be a little bit later in the show teaching us about from his new video series and his book. We're going to be talking about both of his books and his video series, but that's a little later in the show. Hank, I want to get right to your background.
All right.
You did not become a professional golfer, and there's a couple reasons that I've read about why, but you were a standout in high school. You went to Tulsa University on a scholarship.
Right.
I think if I remember correctly, you were roommates with Ron Streck there.
Yeah.
Tell me about coming up through high school and getting into the university. And then we're going to talk about becoming a teacher.
All right. Well, you know, when you grow up in Chicago, they don't come looking for you too much for your golf game back in the 70s. And that's where I grew up. And, you know, I loved the game. I had played all sports as a kid, but I gravitated toward golf because it's an individual game. And I just loved the individualism of golf. And then I was fortunate enough to go on a recruiting trip to Tulsa University. And that day, I played with the team. Back then you could do that, and I played with the team, and somehow I beat everyone except Ron Streck that day.
Yeah.
And the coach said, "Do you want to come to University of Tulsa?" And I said, "Well, if I get a scholarship." And he said, "Well, we're going to give you one." And I ended up at University of Tulsa, and it was a great experience. A couple years ago, I was honored to be a distinguished alumni at University of Tulsa, which they've only had like 125 of them. So I mean, I'm like, it was incredible, you know, to think where I'd come from. But you know what? I always would practice in my room, in our suite. There'd be mirrors in there, and I'd work on my swing. And to this day, my college roommates would always say, "We always wondered what you were doing in front of that mirror all the time, trying to figure out the swing." Yeah, I was a good player, not a great player. I mean, I made all conference, but you know, I mean, that's a long way from being on the PGA Tour. And when you room with Ron Streck was a great college player, and he was a great tour pro. I mean, won tournaments on the PGA Tour, the Champions Tour,
yes,
and you know, back then the Nike Tour. So
tell me
incredible.
About the story of the day that you went out with Ron, and you say it's the only time that you beat him.
Yeah, one time.
He shot 61.
Yeah.
So don't tell me he didn't have game. And Ron shot 62.
Yeah.
And was mad at you forever. And I read in your book where you said, tell me if I've got it right, I learned on that day just how fiercely competitive golfers are.
Yeah. Oh, it was unbelievable. And I mean, it was just like a qualifying round, and you know, best day of my life, best round of my life, and I nip him by one shot, and we're roommates, and he won't even talk to me the rest of the day.
You didn't?
I'm like, it was unbelievable.
How long did he stay mad at you?
Nah, just till that night. I said to him, "Hey, are you gonna talk to me the rest of the day here?" And finally, he loosened up a little bit. But he was a great player. I mean, incredible player.
You got through your university days, and you got in your Camaro.
Yeah.
And you
there you go.
Made
you got this down.
You made a beeline to Chicago.
Yeah.
And you went straight to the golf club.
Yeah.
And you went in. It was cold outside.
Yeah.
You said the day didn't get above about 30 or 32.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you wanted to go hit some balls with your shag bag by the green.
Yeah.
And you met the director of golf, the head pro, Jim Hardy.
Yeah. That was one of those
Tell
moments
me about
in time. That was one of those moments in time that can change it forever. And you know, actually, it was my senior year in college, and I had been struggling, hadn't been playing very well, and I heard that we had a new pro at the course that my parents were members at, Exmoor Country Club, and his name was Jim Hardy, and he was a, you know, tour pro who became a club pro, and great teacher. And I thought, I'm going to go there and see if I can meet him. I drove all the way home, you know, 12 hours straight, and then the next morning I was out there, and I went in the pro shop and introduced myself. They were just setting the pro shop up for the season.
Yeah.
And he said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I came in to just practice a little bit. I'm going to practice over on the 17th hole." And he said, "Well, if I get a chance, I'll come out and take a look at you." And of course, that's what I was hoping would happen when I drove all the way to Chicago from Oklahoma. And he came out and he stood there and watched me for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And it was like the most amazing thing. I thought, wow, you know, if somebody just loves this that much, this has got to be a great profession. And I love helping people. I majored in education in college, and I just knew I wanted to be a coach.
here's what you said in your book. You said that excited me, that he was energized by helping me.
Yeah.
I thought, this is so cool. This is really what I want to do.
Yeah.
It was one of those moments that changed your whole
Yeah,
life
absolutely,
with Jim Hardy.
absolutely. And not just the help I got, I mean, he helped me tremendously, but it's just the being able to see the path. And when you meet people in your life, and everybody has it happen to them, you never know what one moment could change your life.
Now you say also, and I actually wrote this down, your teaching philosophy is to lead your students to become their own best teacher.
Yeah.
Now, financially, that doesn't make a lot of sense, because if they become their own best teacher, you're
Yeah.
out of a job. But anyway, you want them to be their own best teacher, and here's the rest of it that I really like. By getting them to understand ball flight
Yeah.
and how it relates to their swing, with the emphasis on swinging the club on your
Yeah,
own
yeah.
swing plane correctly.
Yeah.
Can you explain that for a
Well,
couple minutes?
I mean, first off, if you're a good instructor, you have a good reputation because you get results, and you'll have plenty of business.
Yeah.
So I really didn't need more business. I didn't need a method that would give me, longer lessons with more people. I mean, I had plenty of business because I got good results, and I always have. So that was one thing. And I want people to be able to help themselves. When they get on the course, I want them to help themselves.
to correct in the middle of a round is
Yeah.
so important. And of course, we all play golf because of the ball flight. I went
Yeah.
out with a beginner the
Right.
other day. He was so excited that the ball flew.
Yeah.
He just couldn't believe that he got it in the air.
Exactly.
And so it's ball flight. But what I love about this is you're also a big swing plane,
Yeah.
being on your
Yeah.
own correct swing plane. So we're going to be getting back in just a moment with Hank Haney, and we're going to be talking about both of his books. You stay right there with me on Match Play TV.
We'll be back with more Match Play right after these messages.
You've heard me talk about Squares golf shoes and how they help you hit the golf ball further. And many of you are saying, oh, come on, Faldo, give us a break. How is that possible? But yes, they do. And it's proven with science.
What we noticed with the Square shoes was the shoe keeps the pressure in a more stable fashion towards inside of the trail heel, allowing pressure to get to the lead side, generating much more club head speed and distance gain.
Visit squares.com. Change your shoes, change your game. Squares, the distance golf shoe.
The PGA Tour champions are heating up. Who will take home the Charles Schwab Cup this year? The Charles Schwab Cup playoffs are gonna be legendary.
Introducing Flag Assist, the simple, easy-to-use pin attachment that's changing the way people play the game. Flag Assist attaches to the flag pin to allow for faster, easier ball retrieval while eliminating turf damage around the cup. Fully allowable under the rules of golf, Flag Assist is customizable, creating new avenues for course promotion, advertising revenue, and enhanced guest experiences. Visit flagassistgolf.com to see what it can do for your course.
Houdini?
Wow, baby's got back.
Houdini.
Houdini, that's pretty cool.
I'm an escape artist myself.
So what is it?
The easiest clubs you'll ever play.
Is that Bernhard? Oh, great, Langer.
You know why I play Tour Edge? Because I win with it.
Pound for pound, nothing comes close.
And now back to Match Play with your host, Ray Adams.
Greetings and welcome back to Match Play. I'm with Hank Haney right here talking golf and talking your philosophy about ball flight and on the correct swing plane for the person. Does that mean, Hank, that everybody has their own special swing plane? Or
Yeah,
is it-
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So everybody's an individual. You got different heights, different length arms, different length torsos. Everybody's swing plane is going to be slightly different, unique to them. And the thing is you want to be on your plane, not somebody else's plane. A taller person, a more upright plane, a shorter person, a flatter plane. You're only concerned about your plane.
Yes. All right. Now, Hank, you've written so much and you've been given so many awards. More about that later, too. But I want to talk about 2 books. Your most recent book that's out now is How to Play Better Golf Today.
Yeah.
And I love today because everybody has a short attention span.
Absolutely.
And we're in this digital world where everything is immediate and instant.
Yeah.
So I want to play better golf and I want to do it right now. So I'm excited about this book.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I just got it handed to me. I hadn't seen it and hadn't read it, but I'm taking it home. Before we do, though, I think everybody knows, and if they don't, they should. You have taught tens upon thousands of people the game of golf
Right.
with your philosophy and with the fact that you are a teacher, trained teacher for that matter. That said, you got a call one day from one Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
And he said, I want you to be my coach.
Yeah.
Now, how all that went and the years that you were with him and the swing work and all of the private things and all of the wins and the victories and the majors, all of that is wonderful history.
Right.
And you wrote all about it in your book, The Big Miss. And I've even put a little mark on a couple places here that I wanted to emphasize. What is the big miss? Why did you
Well,
title it this?
It's a great golf term because the biggest thing that I teach is fixing your big miss. That's the number one thing that I teach. Everybody has a big miss. Everybody has a bad shot. So it's got a great golf term. That's one thing. And then, the big miss is also, it denotes, possible opportunities that could have been and should have been or might have been, but you can always coulda, woulda, shoulda in life. I think everybody has there's no one that goes through life that doesn't have some kind of a big miss.
Yeah.
And that's why we titled it The Big Miss.
Years later, because you wrote this book in 2012 after you decided that you were going to part ways with Tiger as his teaching coach, are you glad you wrote the book?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I loved it. I love the reaction from the book. I got some negative reaction from people that hadn't read the book, but 99% of the reaction was positive. And the number one thing that people said was, it was Tiger Woods fans, and they said, I'm a bigger fan now than I was before after they read the book. So, I wanted to just write about the greatness that is Tiger Woods and what it was like to coach greatness.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I felt like, these are my memories too.
Sure.
I got criticized as for writing a book, but it's interesting because all kinds of coaches write books. Phil Jackson wrote 3 books, and
Sure.
Joe Torre wrote a book, and everybody write.
Well, if there
coaches
was-
write books.
Yeah, if there was any criticism, it was that you also spoke about, being in that inner sanctum and behind the scenes in the private world. So I've got to ask you, not really about any of those details. People can read the book, and they will, The Big Miss. But I do want to ask, what did you give up during those years being in that situation? What did you lose? What did you lose?
I don't really, that's not really something I focus on, Ray. I know what I gained.
Did it take things out of you, though?
Yeah, a little bit, but you don't really notice it. I wrote it in the book, when I got done, it was like a frog jumping into a pot of boiling water. If a frog jumps into that pot, it'll immediately jump out. But have a frog jump into a pot of water and then turn the heat on, it'll stay in there until it dies. So you don't really realize until you're done. Okay?
Until you're dying.
Yeah, until
you're
you're
boiling.
done. Yeah, once you're boiling, you're done, and then you realize, wow, that was, it was not the easiest thing ever, but it was a great experience. It was
Tell
an
me what you
incredible
gained.
experience.
Tell me what you got out of it.
I got an incredible knowledge of what it's like to be a champion.
Yeah.
That's the thing that stands out the most. Being close up with arguably the greatest golfer ever, arguably the greatest athlete ever,
Yeah.
and to see how he acted and reacted and the work ethic and just all the emotional stuff and the way he handled the pressure and just all those things, for a coach, it's just incredible to have learned that and to see that. It takes a single-minded focus to be that great. That's number one. And work ethic, no matter how good you are, you have to try to get better. That's the one thing about Tiger. He would always try to improve. He would always try to get better. He had a yearning for improvement, for understanding better, anything he could do to improve. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. I have the same philosophy. There's no such thing as staying the same. People say, why didn't he stay the same? Well, if he stayed the same, he wouldn't be Tiger Woods. He's Tiger Woods and was Tiger Woods because he always tried to improve.
Is this why we saw several swing changes?
Yeah.
And we see a lot of the tour pros go through swing changes. Even though they might have won tournaments and majors with one swing, they will still be willing to change the swing in order to stay at the top and win more.
Well, he wanted to win more. You have to take a chance to do that. If you just want to, stay the same, you can stay the same. But if you want to get better and you want to improve, you have to change something.
Hank, I've read a long list of your awards over the years, and I mean, they go on and on and on. And I know that you're a humble person about those awards, but you've earned them. And a lot of them are really important awards. So I've got to ask you, out of all of the accolades that you've received over the years and all the tens of thousands of lessons, maybe what's the one that's the most important or the nearest to your heart?
I've been lucky. I mean, I've had a lot of great students. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if you don't have great students, probably the best thing that's ever happened to me in golf is Mark O'Meara winning Player of the Year. Mark O'Meara winning 2 majors. Mark O'Meara making it to the World Golf Hall of Fame. That's number one. That's the best award for me. It's not my award, but I feel like I was a part of it.
Well, sure, of course you were. And Mark O'Meara was on this show a few months ago. What a great guy and what a wonderful guest. Mark O'Meara, incredible player, of course. Hank, if there was a Mount Rushmore for golf coaches, would you be one of the 4?
That's not for me to decide. I mean, my record.
What do you think?
My record kind of speaks for itself. But I mean, Butch Harmon, for sure. David Ledbetter, for sure. I think Jim McLean. There's probably it's not a big list.
There's your 4. All right, Hank. It's such an exciting career that you've had along the way, and you've written these books, and the second book that I want to focus on is this new one that I showed people already, and that's How to Play Better Golf Today. How do we play better golf right now, Hank? Can you sum this up for me in about 30 seconds?
You got to have an understanding of your golf game. That's number one. A self-awareness of where your game is, what your big miss is, what your course management mistakes tend to be, what your short game mistakes tend to be, and then you got to just whittle them away one at a time. So that book's just a collection of all my thoughts and ideas, just quick things that can help you, little quick, paragraphs and sentences that, if you think about it, give you a chance to play better golf today.
What's one thing that you want to tell the viewers right now from the book? Give them one of those lifelong lessons you have.
Analyze your big miss, and what is your big miss? What is your ball flight mistake? What is your bad shot? What is your worst shot? Fix your worst shot, and usually it's a shot that causes penalty shots.
I heard somebody out there in TV land say all of them.
Well, everybody does say that, and they say I miss it everywhere, but you can't fix everywhere. You got to fix left or right, and you got to pick the big miss you want to fix, and when you do that, then you're on your way to playing better golf.
All right, Hank Haney's new book is How to Play Better Golf Today, and when we come back, Hank and I are going to stand up, and he's going to talk about how you can fix your slice, and that'll help me too. Stay right there on Match Play TV.
We'll be back with more Match Play right after these messages.
Bobby Jones, 30 years of classic style for the modern man, now brings you the Jones Performance Cotton Polo. Lightweight and luxurious cotton hand feel with moisture-wicking comfort. The Jones Performance Cotton Polo is engineered with an exclusive blend of carefully selected cotton and the optimal balance of modal and spandex. It's the perfect combination of classic styling and modern fabric technology. Designed for comfort, engineered for performance, and built to last. Look good and stay comfortable, whether you're out on the town or out on the course. The Jones Performance Cotton features a 3-button placket with the iconic Bobby Jones player embroidery for superior comfort, style, and versatility. Get it all in the Jones Performance Cotton Polo.
Augusta Ranch Golf Club in Mesa has been voted the best executive course in Arizona, challenging for all levels of players. It's family friendly and fun. Plus, it won't take you all day to play. There's an excellent practice range with PGA professionals to help you with your game, and be sure to enjoy delicious food and beverages at the Scratch Pub and Grill. Make your next tee time at Augusta Ranch Golf Club by calling 480-354-1234 or by going to AugustaRanchGolf.com.
Golf only exists because it's fun.
What is special about golf is the relationships.
Being out there with your family, your friends, so many different chances and opportunities are presented from the game of golf.
Touring is brilliant. It's always first-class experiences. Courses that they run, they want it to be as good as possible, and it makes a big difference for the experience.
Why wouldn't you select Troon? You're selecting the best of the best. You know the quality you're getting, you know the experience you're getting. There's nobody better.
And now back to Match Play with your host, Ray Adams.
All right, welcome back to the show, and I'm with Hank Haney, and we are at a practice facility here. You know, Hank, so many thousands and thousands of lessons you've given over the years, and you have helped so many of those people fix their slice.
Yep.
And I know that the folks watching, including me, we can slice the ball.
Most people
Even
can.
if we don't want to, we can do it. We're very skilled at that. So the dreaded slice, the banana ball, whatever you want to call it, what causes a slice?
There's only one thing that causes a slice. This is where a lot of people get off on the wrong track to
I
begin
thought there
with.
were 7.
No, there's one, okay? Your club face is open relative to the path of your swing at impact.
All right.
Okay? And what that means is generally speaking, people swing to the left if they're a right-handed player, and the club face is open some amount to the path of the swing. And that is always going to cause a slice. It's not because you come over the top. It's not because you swing too fast. It's not because you don't keep your elbow in. It's not because you didn't finish through or whatever other crazy idea you have. One reason why you slice. Your club face is open relative to the path of your swing at impact.
Well, and we talked about swing plane and your correct swing plane for you, and of course ball flight. So here we go. So many people have their club face open at impact then, and that's why the dreaded slice.
Yeah.
How do you fix it? I hear you have a video series about how to fix your slice,
I do.
And I'm anxious to see that video series. So today, Hank, would you please give us a little preview of what we're going to be seeing during the series?
It's called the one-shot slice fix, and that's because it takes one shot for me to fix your slice.
Okay.
One shot.
How do we do that?
One shot every time. There's a sequence, a practice sequence that we go through. Practice swinging, okay?
Okay.
A bunch of different practice swings depending on your particular mistake in your swing to fix your impact. And I take you through a series of practice swings, and then in one shot you fix your slice.
Unbelievable.
One shot. So here's a couple little things that I'll work on. Okay. Most people take the golf club too much to the inside and come over the top. Okay. That's what they do. All right. And then I will have those particular people work on this little clockwise swing motion just to kind of get started. It looks a little weird, but they'll feel the club going up and kind of coming under. Most people do it just the opposite. They go over, okay? They swing over the top.
Yeah.
So I give them that feel. That's one of the things that we do. I have them take practice swings where they hold the club up off the ground and feel a semblance of a swing plane. So you'll swing from here, and you'll at least feel, with the club up in the air, you'll feel like you're hitting a ball that's on a high tee. You'll feel a swing plane. It's not the correct one, but it's a plane. And then all you do is tilt your body back down. That's another thing that we do. And then teaching people a big thing is you have to learn to square the back of your left hand if you're a right-handed player.
Square the back of my left hand. Are you practicing right now in your living room, folks?
Hopefully. For all intents and purposes, this is your club face. Okay? And when you slice, or when people slice, they're hitting with the side of their hand, not the back of their hand. So I show them how to square the back of the left hand. This is the release. And you need to feel like you're squaring the back of your left hand. If the back of your left hand...
So you actually feel that, don't you?
Yeah. It's not a magical thing that happens. A lot of people think, I don't want to think about my swing. Well, you have to think about it. And if you're not doing this, you're going to slice every time. So you have to learn to do this. And I've got a whole method and sequence of swings I have you take that'll train you to do that. And the first ball you hit will be a draw from right to left.
That's a good position though, right?
That's a good position. That club face is square, your left hand is square, the club face is square. Now, you have to have a neutral grip in order for that to be square with that left hand, and you do have a neutral grip. Sometimes people don't, so we'll adjust their grip a little bit, and we'll also tell them to hold on a little softer so that they can learn this move. But this is the release. So everything else puts you in position to do this. Now we've got a few things that you have to do to preview to get to there, but that's what you have to do. You got to square that left hand.
Fixing our slice in one swing by Hank Haney. You've got to get that video series, Hank. Tell me something else. If you want to let the viewers know more of what they're going to learn, tell us.
Well, I mean, I've got a whole series of instruction that I've done with Performance Golf Zone. So we work on the hybrids, we work on the fairway woods, we work on the short game, because obviously there's a lot of different aspects to the game of golf. But the number one thing is this one-shot slice fix. Because 90%, at least, that's a conservative number, 90% of the golfers who play the game of golf slice the ball.
Yeah.
And if you slice the ball, you lose distance, you lose accuracy. You've got to get more distance to shorten the golf course, to really get better, to get your true potential. I mean, distance is the most important aspect of the game, so I show people how to hit the golf ball longer as well.
I read where you said if you hook the ball, you can become a good golfer.
Yeah.
But if you slice the ball, you're going nowhere.
Correct, yeah. The average handicap for a male golfer is 16.5. They shoot about 90. Average handicap for a female golfer is about 28.5. They shoot 100. And 90% of the people that play golf slice. So the road to good golf goes through a hook, not a slice. You can go from slicing to hooking to good golf. You can go from hooking to good golf. But you're not going to get there if you're slicing it. You're just going to be stuck in that rut. So that's the number one ball flight mistake that people have to fix.
And it doesn't matter the technology, it doesn't matter what clubs you have in your hands, it doesn't matter the ball, it doesn't matter anything like that. It only matters if you come back square to impact and you've got that right hand closed.
Well, this needs to be square, this needs to be square, both hands square, leading with the back of your lead hand and turning it. That's the release. And if you get that square and you've got a neutral grip, or maybe even a little stronger grip to help you out, you're gonna square the face and you're gonna hook the ball.
All right, Hank, thanks so much for that tip on how to fix our slice in one swing. You know, so many people are probably thinking right now, like I am, can we, the average golfer, have a lesson with Hank Haney?
Yes, you can.
So what are you doing now, and how do we access that?
I'm teaching from my own personal studio. I've got an indoor studio and a great short game practice area. And all anybody needs to do for information is go to haneyuniversity.com and you can get a golf lesson with me.
So you'll teach a player who's man or woman, boy or girl, young person, junior, whatever, and you don't care if they're 12 years old, 5 years old, or 80 years old.
No,
they
I
just
don't
need
care.
to go to Haney University, and that'll put them in contact with you.
That'll put them in
see,
contact
folks,
with you.
You also can study with Hank Haney, just like a lot of the greats. Hank, thank you so much for being on Match Play TV today. I really appreciate you taking your time and giving us a lesson, helping us with our slice, the books, all the private things we talked about Hank Haney. Thank you so much for being on Match Play TV today.
Ridgeback. Ridgeback? That's pretty cool. So it's a brace for the face?
Ridgeback. Like the dog?
I'm really a cat guy. So what is it?
The best feeling and longest metal woods you'll ever hit.
Was that Bernhard?
Oh, great. Langer.
You know why I play Tour Edge? Because I win with it.
Pound for pound, nothing comes close.